Hi everyone and welcome to KC Moments. My name is Lindsay-May and I am part of the KC family. Now today I'm going to be sharing a little bit about Proverbs 31. It's quite a famous proverb, you might have read it, and it's actually written by King Lemuel, I'm not really sure how to say it, but it's advice that his mum has given him. So it's wisdom and advice from his mum that he has found so important that he's decided to write it down. So I'm just going to read the NLT version. So the sayings of King Lemuel contain this message which his mother taught him. O my son, O son of my womb, O son of my vows, do not waste your strength on women, on those who ruin kings. It is not for kings, O Lemuel, to guzzle wine. Rulers should not crave alcohol, for if they drink they may forget the law, and not give justice to the oppressed. Alcohol is for the dying, and wine for those in bitter distress. Let them drink to forget their poverty and remember their troubles no more. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. Ensure justice for those being crushed. Yes, speak up for the poor and helpless and see that they get justice. A wife of noble character. Who can find a virtuous and capable wife? She is more precious than rubies. Her husband can trust her and she will greatly enrich his life. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She finds wool and flax and busily spins it. She is like a merchant ship bringing her food from afar. She gets up before dawn to prepare breakfast for her household and plan the day's work for her servant girls. She goes to inspect a field and buys it. With her earnings she plants a vineyard. She is energetic and strong, a hard worker. She makes sure her dealings are profitable. Her lamp burns late into the night. Her hands are busy spinning thread, her fingers twisting fibre. She extends a helping hand to the poor and opens her arms to the needy. She has no fear of winter for her household, for everyone has warm clothes. She makes her own bedspreads. She dresses in fine linen and purple gowns. Her husband is well known at the city gates where he sits with the other civic leaders. She makes belted linen garments and sashes to sell to the merchants. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. When she speaks, her words are wise, and she gives instructions with kindness. She carefully watches everything in her household and suffers nothing from laziness. Her children stand and bless her. Her husband praises her. There are many virtuous and capable women in the world, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive, and beauty does not last, but a woman who fears the Lord will be greatly praised. Reward her for all she has done. Let her deeds publicly declare her praise. So, Proverbs 31, if you've heard it before, it's often quoted as a sort of wish list, I feel like, or a kind of tick list of the way that a wife should act or behave, or of the attributes that a man should look for when he's looking for a wife or when he's trying to get a wife. Here are things that would make someone a really, really good wife. But today I'm going to ask you just to think about the verses that I'm going to choose a little bit differently. So I'm going to choose some verses that stuck out to me, and if you would look at them a little bit differently, I think that would be great. Let's view the verses not as a tick list of the way that a woman should be to her husband, although that is good advice, but as a great example of the way that a woman leads her family, the way that she leads her life, and the way that she leads people around her. And I'm sure that if we look at it that way, that we could all learn a lot from the proverb. Whether we're male, female, whether we're a wife, a husband, whether we're not a wife or a husband, I'm sure that we could learn a lot from the verses just in how we really should lead our lives and how we should lead and treat other people. So overall, I think the proverb gives us an example of someone who puts others first, who prepares for everyday life, who loves others, who knows what's going on in our house and in our community, and who puts God first. And I think that's an amazing example for anyone, no matter who we are. Now I've picked out 6 verses. I know it was only meant to be 1 or 2, but I did try and whittle it down from 6, but there's just so many great verses in this proverb, and I always speak for longer than I should, so why break the habit of a lifetime? You could literally pick any verse from this proverb and learn something from it. So I want to encourage you to do that. So spend some time reading every verse. Ask yourself what that would look like in your life practically, and what is God telling you to do in your life with that verse. What sort of leader would you be if you lived out that verse? Okay, so here's my 6. So verse 8 says, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. Ensure justice for those being crushed. And I think that as Christians, there are times in life where we need to be the voice for certain people, and likewise we need people to be the voice for us. We need to make sure that as Christians and as leaders of our family, that we speak up for what is right, and for justice and for people. So that's the first verse that really stuck out to me. The next one is verse 12, when it says, she brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. And really, as Christians, we should be aiming to always bring good to the lives of people that we know, our husbands, our wives, our children, our friends, our church, our community, our neighbours, people at our work. We should always be aiming to be that good and to be bringing that good. Years ago, someone said to me, you might be the only Jesus that person ever meets. And that really stuck with me. So in order to be that, we need to be the person that's bringing the good in that situation. I also like that it says all the days of our life. So not just when we can be bothered, or not at the start of a new relationship or a new friendship, or when you take on a new leadership role, but all of the days. All of the days is when we should be bringing what is good to a situation. Verse 17, she is energetic and strong, a hard worker. And that also links to in the Bible when it talks about that we should be working as if we're working for God. When we're doing a job or whenever we're carrying out something, that we should be doing it as if we're doing it for God. But do we approach tasks with a hard-working attitude? Do we come across as an energetic and strong as a person, or are we always the person moaning? And this one's a huge challenge for me. Sometimes I just moan for the sake of moaning, and sometimes if I'm in a situation where it's quiet, I'll moan about something just for the sake of saying something. Sometimes I'll go into work and the first thing I'll say is, oh, I can't be bothered today, even though I'm perfectly fine. But I'm not that person that's shown up energetic and strong all of the time. So that's definitely something that I need to work on. So do we give that vibe off to our families as well? To the families that we're leading, and to our husband and to our children? Do we give off that we're strong and energetic, or do we give off that sometimes we can't really be bothered? Verse 20, she extends a helping hand to the poor and opens her arms to the needy. And I just love that verse because I love the picture of opening your arms. The way that it says she opens her arms to the people that need her. So not just providing stuff for people, but actually opening your arms and welcoming them in. It gives a much softer picture of love, I think, than just practically helping somebody, which absolutely is so important and so vital. But I think it just takes it that little bit further, that we're actually opening our arms, we're inviting people in, we're loving them, we're accepting them, and it gives that picture of a closeness as well. So is that how we respond to people around us? Is that how we respond to the needs of people around us? That we open our arms as well as providing things for them. Verse 25 and 26, she is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. So the woman in the proverb, when you read it, you get a great sense of that she's prepared. She's prepared for the future. She knows who holds her future. She isn't stressed by it, as she knows that the decisions she makes on a daily basis will prepare her. So she's investing her money wisely. She's making clothes, she's making garments. She gets up in the morning and she's preparing for what the day will bring, but she's also preparing for what is going to happen in the winter. It says, and she isn't scared by that. She doesn't have fear of the future, but she also isn't under any illusions. She knows that the winter will come. She knows that there'll be difficult times and that there'll be hard times, and that the cold times will come in the winter. But she also knows that her and her family can be sustained through that, through their own preparations, their own wise decisions, but also because of God. And that's such an important verse. I think especially for this time just now, where we know that things are coming, winter's coming, but also we probably have in the back of our minds that are we going to go back into lockdown, what things are going to come. But if we know who holds our future and we've invested wisely in our time and in our money and in our resources and things, then we don't have to have as much of a fear of the future as we might. And the last one is verse 30, where it says, charm is deceptive and beauty does not last, but a woman who fears the Lord will be greatly praised. And sometimes I think that this is quoted, particularly when you're a teenager, to encourage boys not just to go for the good looking girls, but to look a little bit deeper, rather than just look past the looks and go for somebody that has a good heart, a good character. And of course that's brilliant advice, but I think if we look at it in terms of ourselves and look at it about what we expect from ourselves, then we realise that it's not what's on the outside, it's not how beautiful we are or how charming we can be to people, but it's about the fact that we're doing it all for God. So it's about the fact that we are preparing for the day, that we are investing our time wisely, that we are opening our arms to people that need us, that we are making sure that people get justice, that we are that voice for people, that we're being strong and energetic, that we're being those people, we're bringing that good, but it's because of God, it's because we're doing it for God and we want all the praise to be for Him. That's what makes somebody attractive, when they do that. And I think when we look at it as ourselves rather than what we expect from other people all the time, it slightly changes that view that we can have. So no matter who we are, who we lead, we can all learn something from the mum's advice in Proverbs 31. So let's always prepare for the day, make wise decisions, let's lead by really loving people, help people around us, and most importantly, do it all for God. I'm just going to pray. Lord, thank you once again for your amazing word. I thank you that it doesn't matter how many times we read a part of your word, that you can always help us to see it with fresh eyes and a new perspective. I thank you for the example written in Proverbs 31. I thank you for the wisdom and advice given on how to lead a family and how to lead each other. I pray that we would take this advice and apply it to our daily lives, that we would look at it as a privilege to serve each other, and that we do all of it as service to you, not a checklist of jobs that we should carry out, but as a way of leading by loving. Thank you for your unconditional love. We give you all the praise. I pray that everyone has a joyful week, and we look forward to meeting together soon to worship you together. Amen. So thank you. I hope you all have a great week, and hopefully I will see you very, very soon. Bye.